My brother Jim, who passed away about 15 years ago, was a baseball historian. He loved that. And these were open spaces, and we thought, when did baseball start in Minnesota? 1857. The Civil War ended in 1861. So we had baseball in Minnesota before the end of the Civil War. So we did a decade by decade history. Above the line are significant things in Minnesota baseball, and then below the line are some historical facts to sort of ground us in things, and baseball facts. And then we did a little history on, we have a showcase on black baseball in Minnesota, and actually my brother Jim was involved in a book that was written about that, which Swinging for the Fences. If people haven't looked at it or you haven't read it, that's the cover in there. Fascinating stories of black baseball players in Minnesota. So anybody can be nominated, and the deadline is June 1st. So typically there will be committees of people get together in a community and say, this individual is so deserving. So they'll get together and they fill out nomination forms and then get letters. They submit all those letters to me, and I make copies if we need to, and then the selection committee will meet sometime in June, and then according to our Constitution, we can choose 4 to 6 people a year. Great story on Harley Oily from Fergus Falls. He's about 95 years old. He pitched in the Army. He was drafted. Well, actually, he served in the military, and in his military time, he played baseball, and he pitched against Joe DiMaggio. We need to add to this showcase when these are the 3 Minnesota players. We're going to have a 4th player now born in Minnesota who are inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. But when you look at those 3, it's just fascinating. You've got Dave Winfield from St. Paul, Minnesota. You've got Albert Chief Bender he was born up in Crow Wing County, and then Paul Molitor. Look at the diversity. 3 people. You have 3 different ethnic backgrounds represented. Probably the best pitcher that ever came out of St. Cloud was Tom Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer pitched in the big leagues for 13 years. He pitched for the Twins, the Red Sox. He would have graduated from high school back in 1961, Bergmeyer did. But Eisenreich fits in whatever handful you want to put of players. He's one of the, not only the finest players, but one of the best individuals. Walter Ball pitched for the St. Cloud team. He was out of Chicago, I believe. And this goes back to like 1902, 1903. St. Cloud, I think, in 1903, and I have to check with that book, Swinging for the Fences again, wanted to get a team in the professional league, like the Northern League in those days was professional. So they told Walter he couldn't come back and pitch because at that time, if you were black, you weren't allowed. So they didn't hire Walter. Well, they didn't get the team in, and then they went back to Walter, and he had already taken a job to pitch up in Grand Forks.